You have probably heard people talking about making money on Substack, and maybe you're not sure if it's real, or maybe you're not sure if it's the right choice for you personally. Or you are already on Substack and you are wondering how to finally leverage paid subscriptions. Well, this video is going to give you the honest, full picture so you can decide for yourself and map out your action plan. Because here's what I can tell you. There are publications on Substack generating 10, 50, or even $100,000 a year, some even 7 figures, through paid subscriptions alone. No ads, no sponsorships, no complicated product launches. Just readers who choose to pay a monthly fee because they genuinely want to support the creator behind the publication. And in a world that is completely flooded with AI-generated content, with recycled takes and shallow newsletters that nobody asks for, people are actively looking for creators they can trust. Creators whose work they want to see in their inbox, and creators that are genuinely worth paying for. That is the opportunity you have right now, and in this video I'm going to break down exactly how the model works, what the math looks like, and how to think about building it from scratch. And I want to start with why people are even paying for newsletters right now, because I think the skepticism around this topic is completely valid and it's worth addressing directly. Most of us grew up on the internet believing that content should be free, and for a long time that was the dominant model. You create, advertisers pay, readers consume. Nobody pulls out a credit card for a newsletter, right? But that model is changing right now, and it's changing because readers are exhausted. We're exhausted by feeds that are engineered to keep us scrolling. We are exhausted by content that exists to capture attention rather than deliver actual value. And we're exhausted by AI-generated posts that are technically coherent but completely hollow. And when someone finds a creator whose thinking they genuinely trust, whose work actually helps them or makes them feel something, they want to support that. And it's not because they have to, but it's because they genuinely want to. That's a massive cultural shift driving Substack's growth right now. People aren't paying for newsletters because it's a new habit. They are paying because they found something worth paying for. And that is happening on Substack 24/7. There are creators with tens of thousands of paid subscribers, some generating 7 figures purely from the subscription model. These aren't media companies. They are individual creators with a specific audience and a paid tier that consistently delivers value. And now here's the honest version of that story. You don't launch a paid tier and immediately make $10,000 a month. Well, unless you already have a large established audience that trusts you and is ready to invest in your work right away. But for most people, it's a compounding model. First, you build your free list, you earn trust, you convert gradually, and over time, your numbers will grow. But making your first $1,000 to $2,000 a month through paid subscriptions, that's even achievable for new first-time creators, and it changes everything about how you think about the value of your own work. And before we talk about how the paid model actually works, there's a distinction I want to make sure you understand because it shapes how you behave on Substack. On Substack, there are 2 ways someone can connect with you. They can follow you or they can subscribe to your publication. A follower will see your notes in the Substack feed inside the app. They might like your content, they might interact with it, but they don't receive your emails. They are not on your email list. A Substack follower is similar to a social media follower on any other platform. A subscriber, on the other hand, is on your email list. They receive your posts directly in their inboxes. That's your owned audience. That's the asset you are building by showing up on Substack instead of investing into social networks right now. And here's how seriously we take this distinction at Right Build Scale. With our clients, we don't even encourage them to look at their follower count. We ignore it entirely because followers are worthless when it comes to building a subscription business. They look impressive, but they mean nothing. The only number we track and the only number that actually matters matters is the subscriber count. It's the email list, the people who have invited you into their inbox and are actively building a relationship with your work. Because those are the only people who can become paid members and clients beyond Substack. And everything you do on the platform, every note you publish, every post you write, every conversation you start should be pointed at converting one into the other. Now let's talk about the actual mechanics, because this is where most people get fuzzy and I want to make it completely clear for you. Now, Substack is free to use. There's no monthly platform cost, no list size fee, no paying for features. You publish for free until you decide to turn on paid subscriptions. And what I genuinely love about that model is this: Substack only takes a fee when you actually make money. Their incentives are entirely aligned with yours. They only win when you win. When you turn on paid subscriptions, here's exactly how the fees break down. Substack takes a 10% cut of your subscription revenue. Stripe, which handles all payment processing, takes approximately 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction plus a 0.7% recurring bill fee on top of that. In total, you're looking at roughly 13 to 16% of your gross revenue to platform and processing fees, which means on a $10 per month subscriber, you are taking home around $8.50, depending on the specifics. So if you are charging $10 a month and you have 100 paid subscribers, you are generating $1,000 and taking home around $850. This is recurring revenue every month, whether you launch anything or not. Now, to reach $1,000 a month at $10 per month, you need 100 paid subscribers. At $15 a month, you need around 70. The math is a lot more approachable than most creators assume. But here's something I really need you to understand about the subscription model. And I say this because I want you to build something that actually lasts. The reality is, retention is everything. A subscription business is fundamentally different from selling a one-time product. When someone buys a course, for example, the transaction is done. When someone pays you a monthly subscription, they are making a decision to stay with you every single month. If you want to grow your income through paid subscriptions, you have to genuinely over-deliver. You have to build something people will love being part of. A high churn rate of subscribers who cancel month after month will make it almost impossible for you to grow, because you're not just trying to add new paid subscribers, you're trying to keep the ones you have. The publications that reach hundreds or thousands of paid subscribers do it by making the paid tier feel irreplaceable, something their readers genuinely can't imagine giving up. It should be a no-brainer to be part of the subscription month after month, and that should be the standard. So if you are a creator who cares about this seriously enough to be watching this video, you are already thinking about it the right way. Now let's get to the question I get more than almost any other. What do I actually put behind the paywall? The way I think about it is this: your free content earns trust. Your paid content rewards it. Free content is where you teach the what and the why. It's your stories, your perspective, your frameworks in broad strokes. For coaches, consultants, and experts, which is a lot of who I am talking to here, your free content is where you demonstrate your thinking, you build credibility, and you give people a genuine reason to stick around. Think of it this way: your free content says, here's how I think, here's what I believe, here's what's possible. Your paid content says, here's exactly how to do it. Your paid content is the how. It's the step-by-step guides, the templates, the frameworks people can actually apply right now. Prompts, tools, resources that would take someone hours to piece together on their own, distilled into something that they can use immediately. At Right Build Scale, our weekly rhythm looks like this. Every Monday, we publish a free podcast episode available to every subscriber. But we also publish a free post each week, usually one of our YouTube videos embedded and written out as a full Substack post. That way, subscribers get the value directly into their inbox without having to go anywhere else. We also go live on Substack at least once a week, either a live stream with the whole Right Build Scale team, with me and my co-founder members, Philip and Yari, or one of us is interviewing a guest or one of our students to share their best practices. And on Fridays, we publish our paid post. This is usually a workshop, a deep dive how-to, or something very actionable that paid members can put to work right away. We have 2 free touch points, 1 paid only piece, and at least 1 live session every week. And that rhythm keeps the free audience engaged while making the paid tier feel like a no-brainer. And here's the principle behind all of this. The more value you deliver at the free level, the easier it becomes to convert free subscribers into paid ones. And it's not because you are wearing them down, but because they've seen enough of your work to trust that whatever is behind the paywall will be genuinely worth it. You don't have to sell them on the paid tier anymore because they are seeing the value up front. Now let's quickly talk about pricing, because this is where most new creators either leave money on the table or they overthink themselves into paralysis. So let's make this simple. For most publications in the early stages, a monthly price in the $7 to $10 range with an annual option at roughly 2 months free is a reasonable starting point. You don't want to price your paid tier at $5 a month. The conversion rate between 5 and 10 is not dramatically different, and you're cutting your revenue in half. People who are ready to pay for a newsletter are already past the stage where they ask themselves if they're willing to invest money at all. And the jump from $5 to $10 is not the barrier that you might think it is. Now, pricing also reflects your positioning, and as your publication matures and your reputation grows, your price can grow with it. At Right Build Scale, we intentionally charge $20 per month and $85 per year because we are not competing on price. Our publication has years of consistent publishing behind it, a rich archive of paid resources, and an audience that knows exactly what they are getting. We have basically earned the right to price at that level by growing to over 45,000 subscribers and more than 1,600 paid members. Our positioning in that sense is deliberate. We don't want to have a cheap monthly tier. Now, before I get into the bigger picture here, if you want to get your Substack set up the right way and in a way that's actually built to convert free readers into paid subscribers, I have put together a free resource called the Substack Bestseller Workbook. It's a PDF guide with setup checklists and a strategy guide to help you launch and grow the right way. You can find the link to download it for free in the description box below. Now let's talk about how paid subscriptions actually fit into the full picture, and I want to be fully transparent here because the most useful thing I can do is give you a real view, not just the exciting one. At Right Build Scale, less than 10% of our total revenue comes from paid subscriptions. We currently generate more than $50,000 a month as a business, and subscriptions are a meaningful piece of that, but they are not the whole thing. We also have courses, coaching programs, and digital products that go way beyond our paid tier. But here's what I want you to understand about why the paid tier still matters enormously, even when it's not your primary revenue stream. Our paid subscription is the first step through the door. A significant number of our high-ticket coaching clients and course students started as paid subscribers. They wanted to see what it felt like to work with us before committing to something bigger. They read our posts, they experienced our live sessions, they got a real taste of what our work looks like at a deeper level. And that made the next step easy, because it's much simpler to move someone from a paid subscription to a higher ticket offer than it is to convert a cold subscriber who has only ever seen your free content. I like to think about the paid tier as a trust accelerator. Once someone has paid you even a small amount, the relationship is fundamentally different. They have decided that your work is worth investing in, and when you consistently over-deliver at that level, moving them deeper into your world becomes a natural next step, not a sales push. And there are publications that run entirely or primarily on subscription revenue. It's a completely legitimate model, and for the right creator in the right niche, it's a very powerful one. But I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't tell you that building to 6 or 7 figures through subscriptions alone takes time, real consistency, and a paid tier that earns its renewal every single month. What I would actually recommend, especially early on, is this. Don't try to build 5 revenue streams at once. Focus on 1 or 2, go deep, and let them stabilize before you layer anything else on top of them. If you are starting out with a paid tier, make that the priority. Grow your list, deliver consistent value, and give your paid tier the time it needs to actually compound. So if this has you thinking seriously about launching a paid tier, here's how I would approach it practically. First, don't launch paid until you have a consistent free publication. If you are publishing regularly and people are actually opening and engaging with your work, that's your signal that there is enough trust to introduce a paid option. Launching paid to a cold or disengaged list is the fastest way to get a disappointing conversion rate that makes you want to give up entirely. Second, when you do launch, be very specific about what paid members get. Don't say things like exclusive content. This could mean anything. Be specific. Something like every Friday paid members get a hands-on workshop and prompts they can use immediately. Specificity is what turns a free subscriber into a paying one. And number 3, give it time. Paid subscription growth is slow in the beginning and then it compounds. The publications that quit after a few months of low paid conversion are usually the ones who were just about to see things start to move. The opportunity is real right now. The model works, the platform works, and the earlier you build it properly with the right content rhythm, the right pricing, and real value behind the paywall, the sooner you will see that compounding grow. It took us way longer to get our first 500 paid subscribers than it took us to go to 1600 where we are right now. And now at this stage, the growth just keeps compounding because the trust is there, the fundamentals are there, and our content works in our favor. Now, paid subscriptions are genuinely powerful, but as I mentioned, they are just the starting point. If you want to see exactly how we have built our Substack business infrastructure, the digital products, the courses, the model that takes you well beyond the paid tier, watch this video next where I break down 5 ways to make money on Substack without relying on paid subscriptions at all. I'll see you there.